Oh my gosh, this is intense. I've heard the stories, but I thought they were exaggerating. We shouldn't stay here too long. I feel like I'm gonna die.
Ugh, Fortin, don't be so dramatic. I'm sure we have time to examine the area. Just don't go in any further, alright?
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry. Look, I can see my breath. How cool is that?
I'll admit that is pretty cool. Barely out of Valinorth and already seeing new stuff. I'm guessing it has something to do with the cult?
It's insane. I can't believe how much the spirits help us. Without their power, this is what Valinorth would look like. They keep us warm and let our village fight off the cold.
If Nihilus is right, then this is Valinorth's future. It's only setting in now that I see it for myself. There must be something we can do to save our village.
I sure hope so. Let's take a quick look around. It'd be dangerous to stay here for too long. Hey, are you sure you should be taking that?
It was covered in snow, Fortin. Whoever owned it probably forgot about it already. Besides, it might contain some useful information.
I guess you're right. But at least put it back when you're done with it. I don't want to get in trouble if the owner does come looking.
Alright, you have a deal. So, Seer, what does it say?
Mysterious journal. This is it. I've finally done it. For the last 10 years, I've been training my body to handle Eastcrown's cold climate. At the start, I could barely make it a few feet without having to stop. But now, I can almost last an entire day before I need to back out. I know that the answers are now within reach. What purpose does Eastcrown serve? How much of Alestia is uncharted? I'm planning one final journey into these icy mountains, and I know I'll find the truth. I'll see off my wife and child tomorrow, and leave my journal by the entrance. Should I make it out of this alive, the following pages will be filled with wonders and revelations upon my return. We will finally understand. The rest of the pages are empty. Mysterious journal.
Hey, move it, Valessa! You're hogging all the heat.
No way! Your outfit is much warmer than mine.
It doesn't matter. Do you want me to die or something?
Are you sure you want the answer to that question?
What?
Well, what's the news? Is everything okay, Zamira?
I guess everything is fine. Technically. It's just something I need to tell you in private. The villagers will have enough on their plates tonight.
So it's something that affects them too?
More than that, actually. Look, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm sure Valinorth will be resettled in the future.
I'm glad you think so, Zamira. I was starting to worry about everything. Seems like Milas has everything under control.
Yeah, about that, this is where it gets a little awkward. You see, he didn't really tell you everything.
What? Really?
This is starting to get pretty overwhelming. He seemed pretty open. What was he hiding? I don't think I can handle another revelation.
It was probably too embarrassing for him to admit, but he doesn't really want to lead Valinorth anymore. He told me when he gets to Mazeo, he's staying for good.
That can't be true.
He was doing such a good job.
He was, but I understand where he's coming from. It's possible to be good at something you don't enjoy. He deserves a fresh start, a pursuit of his own choosing.
I guess so. Then what about resettling Valinorth? Who'd be in charge when that happens?
People would migrate back too slowly. We'd be in no shape to hold a formal election. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that means
Bingo.
the seer.
Does somebody want to fill me in?
Matters of Valinorth's future. With no elder, they're under the jurisdiction of the seer. Believe it or not, he gets to choose the next leader.
A contingency plan for special cases like this. The only condition is that you can't choose yourself. Your duty and role in Valinorth is already well established. Take your time, evaluate the candidates, and think about it. Again, it's not really bad news, it's just another change.
There's really nothing to think about, though. Choose me, then I won't be the third wheel anymore. We can be a trio, and work together all the time.
Hey now, let's not jump to conclusions. I think I'd be a fine candidate for Elder. Fortum was trained to fill the gap I'd leave.
Oh my, I should have expected this. Sorry to put you in an awkward situation.
It's only awkward if Valessa makes it awkward.
Whatever.
Look! This might not be relevant for years to come. There's no need to argue about this. Stay focused. We have a really important job on our hands, you know? None of you know where Perigrino is, right? If I start walking without you, you'll get lost. I'll give you a few minutes, but I'm on a schedule. Good. That's what I thought. Take a few moments to talk amongst yourselves. But when you're ready to go, we need to move as fast as we can.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey. Yeah, of course I do. If I become elder, then Fortum can take over as your scribe. It seems like the logical course of action, doesn't it? We need to figure out how to save Valinorth. After the attack, we can rebuild from the ashes. But I also want to solve our problem with the spirits. Once we restore our connection, we'll be fine. After that, it's just a matter of what we do with our nation. I'm not really a fan of what Milas and his father did. I've been thinking about that, actually. Not just you, but Damek as well. Only a seer of Valinorth can have visions. Is there more to Damek than we know? Or is there more to the blade than we know? I'd say it's the energy inside of you, but Damek doesn't have that. Or does he? Basically, none of this makes any sense to me. We're watching the laws of Alestia be remade before us. So, if you're asking me for an answer, I really don't know. It's something we have to learn as we venture forward. But I have a feeling that this blade changes everything.
Hey. Wait, is this like a job interview or something? I've never been very good at selling myself. First and foremost, though, I'd reconnect with the spirits. That way, Valinorth wouldn't freeze over. A lot of people forget it's the spirits that keep us warm. After that, I guess I'd focus on what to do with the people. Well, we have an important choice to make. We can follow after Milas and drop our independence, or we can distance ourselves from the other nations, like always. Right now, I think unity is important. If I were the Elder, I'd band our world together. We could live in harmony and trade freely. I know I hate the trade ban they put on Mazeo, but this isn't personal. Lifting those bans and uniting the nations would create peace. Isn't that our goal at the end of this, Seer? Awesome. I'm glad you agree. The rebellion is founded on unity, and it's strong. Each nation on its own would stand no chance of winning. The Triumvirate won't be the last threat Alestia faces. It's stupid to think that we'd have an eternal peace. We can't band together now only to split up after. I'm positive. She's doing a fine job as your scribe. Having me as the Elder would utilize my full potential. I don't mean to brag, but I spend a lot of time with Milas. As a scribe in training, I'm just held back. I don't think I'll ever need to take Valessa's position, so why not let me take another position instead? Look, all I ask is that you think about it, alright? At the end of the day, we're the two best candidates. There's no election here. The choice will rest upon you.
Hey, Zamira, what's work like?
It's a lot less exciting than you'd think. They advertise it as a position of power, busting smugglers and protecting Valinorth.
And it's not like that.
No, not at all. I spend most of my day standing around. Crime in Valinorth is almost non-existent.
Because the spirits have blessed us, right?
I guess that's one popular theory. But to be honest, I don't buy it. Spirits can't change our nature.
Nature.
Deep down inside, we're all evil. Some of us just manage it better than others. We all have our impulses. It's about controlling them.
What an odd outlook.
Hey, don't deny your impulses, Valessa. If you had to steal to get by, you'd do it. Valinorth is just special. Resources are everywhere. Mazeo has been almost completely deforested. You can't just go into the forest and find food. There's not enough natural running water either.
See, I didn't know that.
I don't blame you. Everyone in Valinorth is happy. Nobody is scraping by, you know? Imagine if food was scarce. There'd be a lot more people breaking the law. Stealing it, hurting others for it, you name it.
How do you know about all of this?
I've been to Mazeo a couple of times. Trust me, the guards there have it much harder. They don't even know if they'll survive their shifts.
Oh. Wow.
So when I say the post here in Valinorth is boring, I'm not really complaining, to be honest. I'd much prefer boring work to, dying.
Hey, Zamira, about those antlers.
What about them?
You ever, hit them on a doorway? I mean, you can't be fully aware of them all the time. Yo, have you ever accidentally hit someone else with them?
I'm about to.
Whoa, okay, backing off. I was just curious. Always wondered. How do you put a shirt on each morning?
What do you mean?
Well, you can't really slip clothes over your head. Those things would tear through any fabric.
I don't really have anything that slips over my head. I only wear things I can put my arms inside of first. Like button-ups or vests.
Right. I guess that makes sense. Sorry for annoying you. Please don't hit me.
Of course. I'll do my best for Tem, but I'm not responsible for any accidents.
digging tunnels underneath their own church. I guess it makes sense. Nobody really comes here. Museo isn't exactly known for its pious people.
Easy to get away with. Though I have to say, it's pretty ironic, the rebellion settling in the Triumvirate's church.
A bit poetic, isn't it? Maybe after this we can settle in their castle.
One step at a time. Let's not get carried away. I'll write them and let them know what we found. After all these years, I'm not sure how to feel.
Relieved, with a side of being terrified. At least that's how I feel about all of this. Finding another spirit idol. This changes everything.
I always assumed that was the idol, at the altar. It was always so dim. We just thought that it was dying, but it was receiving power from something deep underground. It's nice to know that the theories were correct. The search was starting to feel like a lost cause.
The only lost cause is their pursuit of conquest. Let them know what you found. Let's get things started.
What are you planning, Damek?
I'll let you know tomorrow if everything goes well. I have to prepare for the arrival of our special guest. But trust me, I've put a lot of thought into this plan.
You've earned my trust.
It won't be long until the Triumvirate sends their forces. If I'm lucky, they might even come to see it for themselves. Right now, they're busy with Valinorth. But by the time they reroute, my army will be in place. When they set foot underground, we'll kill them all. Sobi, explain yourself immediately. You told me to wait in the castle atrium. If I did that, you would have left without me.
Oh, did I really say that? I'm sorry. I must have gotten carried away with our prisoner. How did your meeting with the Triumvirate go, Halin?
They refused to tell me these secrets. Something about my loyalty not being strong enough.
Well, look at it this way, Halin. The mission we're going on is very important. No better way to prove your loyalty to the cause.
I guess you're right. But I don't like being left in the dark.
Then you'll get along great with Shane. He's been pestering me with questions all day.
I don't fraternize with prisoners.
Whatever you say.
You know, we have a long boat ride ahead of us. Might not be a bad time to start fraternizing.
Did I stutter, Shane? Leave me be.
Oh, you think you're better than me, right? Well, here's some food for thought, apprentice. You're more a prisoner to the Triumvirate than I am.
What did you just say?
Neither of us will know true freedom. We're nothing but a means to an end. They'll kill you the moment you disobey. We have no choice but to follow orders. The difference is, you do this willingly. I have no idea why. You seem smart to me.
Whoa. This is amazing. I can't believe something like this was so close.
And look at the spirit idol. That's so cool. Even if it's not lit up, it's still beautiful.
Milas said it went dark when the seer was born. I can't believe all that energy is inside of you.
the idol, Valessa.
Hey, that's not fair!
I can't believe we've lost our connection with the spirits. There must be some way to get it back, right?
Are you sure we lost it, though? It's still here, just inside of the seer.
I'm pretty sure it's not that simple. This idol has roots that reach all across Valinorth. As far as I know, the seer doesn't have any roots.
Well, maybe there's a way to put the energy back. You know, after we've taken down the Triumvirate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe this is only temporary, and they'll come back. The seers won't need the power after we've won, right?
I always knew that Milas had people guard Saulberg, but I thought it was to keep the spirit idol safe. Now we know, so they don't find out it's dark.
So we weren't the first ones that he told then? The guards must have known if they stood watch all day. I can't even think of anyone Milas trusts that much.
Well, we can't hide this from the people forever. If we resettle Valinorth, they'll need to know. What? No fair! How did you beat me?
Even with a head start, you're no match for me. Time to throw in the towel. Stick to climbing trees.
Oh? So you want to have a climbing race?
I'll pass, thanks.
Wait, why?
A smart person doesn't pick a battle they know they'll lose. I'm surprised you challenged me, Fortum. You know how fast I am.
Are you calling me stupid?
No, I'd never do that. Anyway,
Isn't the spirit idol beautiful?
That's putting it lightly. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. When it's lit up, it must be incredible.
Yeah, I'd pay almost any price to see that. But don't worry, Fortum. I'm sure there's something we can do. If we all work together, we can make that idol shine again.
Well, looks like we're finally here. It wasn't that bad, was it?
Not as bad as I thought it'd be.
My legs are a little sore, but I'll manage. I know we're far from home, but this still feels like Valinorth. I guess maybe I expected something a little different.
Just wait until you see the outlook, Valessa.
The outlook?
You can almost see the entirety of Alestia. As soon as there's no trees in the way, you'll be amazed. It's easy to forget we're on top of the highest mountains.
So, we're not surrounded by trees the entire way to Mazeo?
Absolutely not. Even aside from the deforesting, trees are scarce. It makes for a beautiful view. I'm sure you'll love it.
Right. I guess you're in your own schedule now. You only had to bring us to Perigrino.
I'm not about to ditch you, though. Now head inside. Feel free to follow along. It won't be too hard to find Pro. Trust me.
Well, I guess this is it. As soon as we meet with Pro, we're off to Mazeo.
Wait, did you say pro?
What? Who's there?
Well, what do you know? It's you. Kind of makes my job a whole lot easier.
Wait, you know us?
Just the seer.
Then you must be.
Ulric! From the vision!
Excuse me?
Yeah, you were in the vision that the seer had last night.
Huh. Haven't even met, and I'm already in your dreams. That has to be some kind of new personal record.
He said you died, Ulric. Something about a man named Sovi?
You sure are good at first impressions, little one.
I'm not little!
Is he telling the truth, seer? How exciting. You'll have to tell me more once we grab Pro. After that, we're going to evacuate Valinorth.
Actually, Miles is taking care of that. The village is gathering for a celebration tonight. The perfect time to group up and escape, right?
Really? I'm starting to wonder why I'm even here. Either way, Pro and I will take you to Damek. Glad to hear this vision of yours won't come to pass. Shall we get things started? Unless you want to talk more, I'm up for that too.
Whenever you're ready, Seer. Seems like we have a lot ahead of us.
Hey. Absolutely. I'd recognize that thing anywhere. I'm surprised you have it out in the open like that. We went through such great lengths to hide it. About the Blade of Exodus? It's extraordinary. I have no idea where it came from, or the full range of its power. It can repurpose life into an energy that serves the wielder. That gear at the base can spin, which should be impossible. It's almost like some parts of the blade exist in a different world. I'm starting to think that's the case. Where else would it store all that power? It's practically cheating. Whoever wields it has infinite power. I don't think of the Triumvirate as gods. They were just abusing this weapon. Now that they don't have it, taking them down should be child's play. I have no idea, and I don't think we'll ever find out. It must tap into a person's spirit before it enters the spirit realm. That's the only non-physical part of us that could be considered energy. I'm assuming they've always had it. It's how they came to power. Some people seem to think they used the blade to create our entire world. Not many people know about it, though, and they see the Triumvirate as gods. And they really aren't. They're just men who came upon a greater power. And now we have that greater power. We can rule Alestia far better than them. I think we should destroy that blade after we win. It's a tool of pure corruption. It wasn't too long ago, maybe half a year. The rebellion planned an attack. Our previous leader planned it down to even the smallest detail. Steal the blade, map out their castle, and pave way for our future liberation. I'll be honest, he knew he was going to die. He used his final moments to get the blade. Some people think it's a little fishy. How could we win so easily? Did they let us win? I don't think it's that deep. They just didn't expect our leader to effectively commit suicide. I was. Change the subject. I'm sure you won't. I don't think any of us will. The scope of his planning went farther than I could have imagined. Being the Elder of Valinorth, he planned every aspect of your involvement. I guess breaking Valinorth's non-partisan stance made perfect sense to him. Every little piece was in place. The liberation of Alestia was finally attainable. I just hope that you're everything you thought you'd be. Wielding that blade isn't easy. He already is, and I'm happy to serve him. Things are going swimmingly. It helps that he was one of the founding members of the rebellion, too. At that point, though, he was too young to lead. Things are different now. He's done a fine job of honoring our leader's legacy and guiding us to victory. He had to make a few hard decisions, but I trust his judgment without question. Everything is going according to plan. Our final assault is all we need. Wait, he used the Blade of Exodus on me? That's impossible. There's no way he'd be able to wield it. You're the only one. Even Damek nearly died the first time he touched it. I'm still surprised, though. He had a small vision when he did. Perhaps he has some spiritual energy inside of him. Either way, hopefully I went out in a blaze of glory. Yeah, that sounds like me. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just thankful that this vision won't come to pass. I have a lot of life left in me. That makes me wonder, though. What was the purpose of seeing something like that? I can understand a vision of Valinorth being attacked, but seeing me and watching me die? We've never even met. How is it possible to know what I look like and how I act? I know the spirits give visions of the future, but that's so specific, and it won't happen. Sylvie is an incredibly strong adversary, even without the blade. But if he's able to wield it, we better make sure it never enters his hands. His strength, coupled with that blade. I don't scare easily, but that's terrifying. There's no way he should be able to. I imagine even you're having trouble. It's not meant for just anybody to wield. You need an incredible spiritual connection. Damek might have a small one, but Sobi? A man like that has no connection to the spirits. Hard to say. That depends on your ability to wield it. The Triumvirate had that blade for an eternity. You don't have that much time. Not to put too much pressure on your shoulders, it's just the truth. Yeah, but you also saw me die, right? These visions aren't as reliable as I've been led to believe. Rather than seeing the future, it's almost like it shows you what to avoid. Too bad we can't avoid what's coming to Valinorth. When Damek touched the blade, he saw Valinorth fall, and the rebellion win. It seems like he's embracing what he saw. Good thing you're not, or else I'd be dead. You mean how do I feel without our most valuable assets? Pretty terrible. Without visions to guide us and the power of that blade, we'd be dead. There's no way we could take them down through conventional means. However, at the moment, everything is in our favor. Everything. We just need to be careful. Do not let the Triumvirate or Sovi take that blade back. If we can do that, victory is as good as ours. A new future will rise to greet Alestia. Scary is an understatement, but I've never been more certain of our victory. Damek is pretty excited to meet you, actually. You're going to help us win this war. I'm fully aware of that. It'll take some training to get used to it. When we get to Museo, Damek will place you under a strict training regimen. You need to get as much practice as possible before we launch our attack. Of course, and I'm glad you look at it that way. Practice makes perfect. We can't expect you to use it immediately. Just do your best to be careful. You know what that thing is capable of. I'll pass, thanks. Damek was able to use it only for a brief second. Any longer than that and he would have died. I think this one rests on your shoulders alone. Good. Fighting your calling is never the right idea. Just embrace it and let's do great things together. You'll make it out of this as a hero, you know. Well, the rebellion was formed around 20 years ago. Survivors of the occupation banded together and sought justice. Adults trained orphaned children to create the perfect soldiers. A long time has passed and now the children are old enough to fight. And they've been perfectly trained, almost their only purpose. Damek was one of these children, and the previous leader raised him as his own. Obviously, I'm a little older. I wasn't a victim of the occupation. When it happened, I was just arriving in Mazeo to sell my sword arm. I moved here from Alarenthia as soon as I had the chance. Imagine wanting to get a new start and arriving in the middle of a war zone. That's pretty much what happened. So I did what anybody else would do. I joined the winning side, the triumvirate, with the hopes of making money. It was going well, but then I realized they were killing children. I turned on them as quickly as I joined them, fighting for Mazeo. I was one of the first rebels. Got to watch Damek grow up firsthand. That's purely subjective, but I happen to think you're right. The triumvirate needs to be taken down or held accountable for what they did. Leaders should never get a free pass to commit atrocities. Never. I'm sure there's been insurrections in the past. There must have been. But the thing about us is that we have the Blade of Exodus, our victory. Not really, but it's not numbers that we need, just strategy. The Triumvirate's honor guard is weak. One man could easily kill 50. And with that blade on our side, they can't make any more. Just a matter of time. That's for sure. Without that blade, we'd never win. As I've always said, we can't take them down with conventional means. There's a lot resting on your shoulders. I hope you're up to the task. There's not much to say. He doubled as the Elder of Valinorth. You probably already know everything there is to know. You worked with him. The secrets he kept from you? Well, you've already been told. He sacrificed himself to get you that blade. Now he's gone. Damek buried him underground in Mazeo's tunnels, our new home. In fact, you could see his grave if you wanted. Pay some respects. I doubt we will. He gave us a hand of winning cards. Damek is securing our HQ and planning our final attack right now. We'll sail to Balteus and take them down for good. Lots of pirates and people who are after money, no matter what. Don't trust random people and don't buy anything from a stranger. You'd get swindled and robbed far before you found anyone genuine. The occupation didn't make things too much better. It's still dangerous. Mazeo's spirit idol was also on its final days, dim and defeated. At least, that's what we thought, until very recently. No. You couldn't even pay me to go back to Alarenthia. It's so hot it's almost unbearable. And the way they govern things is different. I know I say that Mazeo is dangerous, but Alarenthia makes it look like paradise. I just don't agree with the way things are done over there. The strongest tribe gets to rule the land. It's a constant power struggle. Either way, Alarenthia isn't my home. My true home is Mazeo. Yeah, and that's especially true in Alarenthia. You choose your home and family. You can change your circumstances if you don't like them. On the mainland and in Mazeo, it's different. People stay in toxic relationships. I think of it different. If you don't like your family, find a new one. I've spilled enough blood to hold no blind allegiance to it. That's a very grim way of looking at things. When the flames go out and the ash blows away, you can go back. It still exists. It'll just be a new Valinorth. Don't be pessimistic. Well, there's a church in Mazeo. It's supposed to be for triumvirate worship. At the altar there rests a very dim spirit idol. We assumed it was dying. But it's not even the true spirit idol. The true one rests deep underground. And the one in the church was merely receiving energy from the true idol. That's why it was so dim. The source of power was far away. Nobody knows about this except for the rebellion. It's our secret. We want to try tapping into it for power. It's our only chance, too, since Alarenthia's idol was destroyed. And from what I've heard, Valinorth's died out a while back as well. Is that so? I suppose that's why you're so important. Its energy went into you, and now you can wield the blade. I hope you don't misuse this gift. I'll admit, I'm a bit intimidated. The Triumvirate suspected it. That's why they were digging in Mazeo. But after 20 years, they found nothing. It was Damek who discovered it. We decided to keep it secret. He's coming up with a plan for it right now. I suppose so. If the Triumvirate didn't destroy all the others. But right now, the idol in Mazeo is the only one we know about. That is, unless there's one in Balteus. But I doubt it. I mean, the Triumvirate could have one hidden there, maybe. But there's no way to know for sure. We should focus on what we do know. He recently rose through the ranks and has given us tons of trouble. When the Triumvirate gets in our way, he's likely responsible. He makes himself a lot more known. Way different than the last Inquisitor. I haven't gotten to meet his apprentice yet. The Grand Inquisitor always has to train one. It ensures a constant cycle of obedience. Yeah, but as I said, I have no idea who it is. If Sobi is training him, though, I'd watch out. Seems like we'll be up against some tough opposition. Not that I'm aware of, and I highly doubt it. It's just them, the Inquisition and their honor guard. Seems simple enough, but taking them down will be anything but. The more you know about the enemy, the easier it is to oppose them. This is one of the fundamental rules of war. Know what you're up against. Ignorance on the battlefield is the fastest way to meet your own end.
Wow, Ulric, it's so big!
Yeah, I get compliments on it all the time.
Can I touch it?
Of course you can. Just be gentle, though.
Yeah. Whoa, it's heavier than I thought.
You might want to use both hands. And tighten your grip a little bit.
Like this?
A little bit lower.
Oh, sure.
There you go, that's more like it. Now, swing that sword with all your might.
Yeah!
Whoa! Watch what you're doing! You could have killed me, kid!
I'm so sorry. I've never used a greatsword before.
I feel like we should keep it that way.
Why did the Honor Guard do all of this? They single-handedly sheltered and armed our forces.
Damek, sir. Everything is going according to plan. Our forces have started to relocate.
Ha! Perfect timing, Vance. I just received the deed from Grizz. It took some convincing, but I did it.
Wait, you didn't already have the deed? Why were we moving everybody down here?
Oops, you didn't hear anything, all right. Besides, I knew I could win him over. This was just a bit of a head start. And cut the formalities, call me Damek. We've been through enough. This isn't about rank. I think of us all as a family, not an army.
Of course, Damek. I'm amazed at our new HQ, to be honest. How did you secure all of this stuff?
It wasn't me, Vance. The Honor Guard was planning a long stay. They're responsible for everything you see.
You mean those things? Why would they build stuff they have no use for? They can't really fight, and they have no need for sleep.
They must have known someone would use it. Either way, the Triumvirate doesn't know about this. Their own Honor Guard is defying orders, it would seem.
So there's discord among them? Never thought we'd live to see that.
Yeah, but it also proves the Triumvirate isn't all-knowing. There's no way they'd let this happen if they were. They're just like us. We can take them down. That is, if we're strong enough.
It's a spar you want?
Just need to make sure you haven't gotten sloppy. As soon as the Triumvirate finds out, a fight is coming.
Don't worry, Damek. I'm ready.
It's a lot taller than I thought it'd be.
Well, it doubles as a sort of hotel. I'm assuming the topmost floors are private rooms.
Oh, really? That's cool. Maybe we can rest before we leave.
If we have the time, perhaps we can. It might be nice to explore this place in person. I've read about it and heard lots of stories.
What kind of stories?
If they're true, you'll see for yourself.
It's a lot taller than I thought.
Well,
Oh,
if we have the time.
what?
If they're true.
Absolutely not! There's no way! Take that letter back to Damek in pieces. I'm not giving up my beloved Perigrino, Pro.
Aaron, you don't want to test me. This is for the good of Alestia. Don't be selfish. He wouldn't act outside of our best interests. If you don't agree, he'll cut your funding. You wouldn't be able to keep up. You'd go out of business. This isn't exactly the best place for a watering hole, you know?
I'll make do. I have to. This place is my home.
I'm not asking you to move. You just have to let Damek do what he wants.
Damek wants me to shut down Perigrino. He wants to turn it into some stupid barracks.
It's for Valinorth's safety, you know? With an army here, the village would be safe. Future attacks could be stopped before they even start.
At the cost of my home, you mean? I refuse to do this. You can't make me.
You're acting like a child, Aaron. Like I said, you can still live here. It just wouldn't be a tavern anymore.
But that's what it was meant to be, Pro. That's what the rebellion wanted. Neutral ground for both nations. You can't change your mind just because you want something else.
That's exactly why we can change our minds. Aaron, stop being stubborn. Lives are at stake here. Look me in the eyes and tell me your tavern is worth those lives.
But
Hey, Seer, give us your input. Without an elder, you're in charge of Erin. This place still falls under Valinorth's jurisdiction. Or do you not know the secret of Perigrino? Back when your elder formed a treaty with Mazael, it's not like they trusted each other immediately. Both sides were scared of walking into a trap. So what was the best thing to do? Meet each other halfway. That's right. This place was built for secret rebellion meetings. But things are changing. Valinorth deserves an army to protect it.
Don't tell me you're considering this, Seer.
Think about it logically for a second. If this was a barracks, Valinorth would be safe. We'd fight off the triumvirate forces for you. It may be too late now, but we can plan for the future. Damek is requesting this of Erin, but you can order it. We'll be expecting answers as soon as we arrive in Mazael.
He has a point, Seer. Technically, you're in charge of the entire nation. And if it sounds like I'm putting pressure on you, I am. We have a lot to do. We can't waste time over stupid fights. Help them resolve this so we can talk about important stuff.
There's no reason to turn this into a barracks, though. If you win this war, Alestia will be safe and peaceful. Damek is being hasty. He's not thinking straight. Seer, I beg of you, don't take my home away from me.
Look, I already told you to hurry up. There's no downside to placing an army here. Erin is just being whiny and resistant to change. You have the chance to prove yourself as a capable leader. Don't cave under his demands and give him what he wants. An effective leader does what's best for everybody. Think about Alestia when you make a choice, not Erin. And that advice will help you every time you need to make a decision. Catering to individual people is a great way to garner hate.
Whoa. You actually want my input on this? I guess it is my duty to assist you. But I'm surprised. I'm only supposed to guide you when it comes to visions. If I had to choose, I'd keep this place the way it is. After the war, Valinorth and the rest of the world will be safe. Why would we train an army after we've taken down the triumvirate? If I were the Elder, I'd commit myself to maintaining our independence. That means living outside of conflict like we've been doing for millennia. Siding with the rebellion and putting an army here will tie us to future wars. Until today, even you were raised in an independent Valinorth. I can understand a temporary alliance, but we should go back to normal. I honestly think it's kind of an insulting idea. We can take care of ourselves.
It's an interesting situation, to say the least. But that doesn't mean the right decision is hard to make. We should ally with the rebellion, then place an army here. If our elder had done that, then Valinorth would be fine. In my opinion, we need to work toward a united Alestia. That would have saved us this time. It can save us in the future. Either way, I know you also need to choose a new elder. If you already have someone in mind, then try to cater to them. It's important that they're left with a nation they'll be proud to lead.
serious? Come on. You can't just leave your village defenseless.
Now, Pro. You're the one that brought him into this. We need to take his word as law. That's how it works. Thank you so much, Seer. This calls for a celebration.
Just met, and you're already a thorn in my side. Oh well. I just hope you don't come to regret that choice. If you don't, then expect future generations to hate you. Ah well. I guess I should look on the bright side of things. At least they can have a drink while their village burns down again. Ulric,
Pro?
I thought you might find yourself here. Damek must know about the new plans then.
He assumed you were slacking off. Now that I'm here, I guess it's half true.
Don't worry, I had it planned all along. You can doubt me, but everything worked out. Here we are, all together and ready to plan.
I need to get all of you back to Damek as fast as possible. We need to make some moves and plan our final attack. You'll be training under a pretty strict regimen. Damek wants you to master that blade as fast as you can. Now, I already told you about the spirit idol they found in Mazael. Damek wants to use you and that blade to tap into its power. He thinks it would give us more of a chance to win this war.
Wait, a new spirit idol? I didn't know that could happen. I thought we had all of them mapped out for a long time.
I'll assume your studying abilities are limited in Valinorth. But the occupation was just a cover for the Triumvirate's true goal. They were looking for this spirit idol, so they could destroy it.
Whoa, hold on. Why would they want to do that?
We don't know, but that's why Damek wants it first. There's a possibility that it poses a threat to their reign. Legend has it they destroyed Alarinthia's idol as well.
Wait, Alarinthia's idol was destroyed?
It was so long ago that they almost never had one. That's why it turned into the arid wasteland it's become. Kind of like how Valinorth will freeze over, potentially.
So, Damek wants to use this new spirit idol for power. Isn't that risky? Does he even know what will happen?
Nope. This has never been done before. Unless, of course, we're talking about your friend here.
You mean he wants to use the power on people?
As far as I know, yeah. It could give our army just the push it needs. There's even a chance it could turn them into seers.
An army of seers. Do you realize how crazy that sounds? I can't believe Damek would want to do that.
Hey, I'm just theorizing. We have no idea what will actually happen. We just know one thing. The Triumvirate wants it destroyed.
And that means they don't want anyone else to have it. So there must be something we can use it for, right? We think that this is part of your destiny, Seer.
It's not a coincidence that all of this happened at once. We find the idol just as you realize your potential. Perhaps it's that potential we need to be using.
Basically, it's gonna happen like this. We'll get to Mazael, and Damek will start your training. When you feel comfortable enough, we'll bring you to the idol. You'll use your power to tap into it and empower our army. Then, you'll help Damek lead our final assault on Balteus. We'll take down the Triumvirate in their own home.
Wow.
He really has it all planned out, huh?
Yeah, smooth sailing once we get to Mazael. And I think it would be too dangerous to leave right now. It's almost nighttime. We should rest and leave in the morning.
I agree. I made good time on my journey over here. We'll still be on schedule even if we stop to rest. Spirits know I need it after the long trek I just took.
Resting does sound pretty good right now. It's been such a hectic day. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, and it'll give us time to discuss other matters. I'm down to rest, Ulric. Just point us in the right direction.
Not so fast. Let's hang out for a bit first. It's still early enough that we can have plenty of fun. Go look around. I won't be too far behind, all right?
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna go grab a drink. Seer, when you're ready, take any room you want. We'll head to the Outlook at dawn and journey down to Mazeo.
Look, I'm sure you're processing a lot all at once. But you're not alone. We're about to go to war. I'm overwhelmed too, and so is Ulric. He might not show it, but I'm sure he's scared. There's never been a battle like this before. All we can do is play with the hand we've been dealt. I'll see you around, all right? Watching everybody drink is making me thirsty. If you miss me, you'll know where to find me.